Readers. Ladies and gentlemen, we are back. We are back for another most important, three most important players to watch for during training camp. Defense edition. Let me turn those glowing lights back on there to make it look like there's a party happening behind me because there's an atmosphere. You can feel the music. There's no music, but let's get the lights. Ladies and gentlemen, we are officially back. Let's do this. Yesterday, we did an episode called "The Three Top Offensive Players to Watch For During Training Camp." If my memory serves, if it serves me well, I believe the three players that I picked were Malik Benson, wide receiver, Mike Washington, running back. Oh, and Caleb Rogers, offensive guard. Okay, for defense, what three players am I going with? Number one, we are gonna go with Sir Hemingway, Tonka, to be precise. Tonka Hemingway. This is Tonka Hemingway. Why am I naming him the top most important person to look for during training camp? Three things: age, height, weight. Tonka Hemingway is regarded as a defensive tackle at 284. This year, the Raiders announced they are switching to a 3-4. I still believe that means hybrid, versatile. We're going to do a lot of things. However, here's where it gets really cool. You see, Tucker Hemingway got 4 sacks last year, so he's showing improvement at the age of 24. 284, however, in a 3-4 is the perfect size for a defensive end. Yeah, 284 in a 3-4 scheme defense, when you only have 3 down linemen, this is the perfect size for a defensive end. See, in a 4-3, this would be considered a twinner, right? A little bit small for a defensive tackle, because defensive tackle, you got to be 300 plus, right? Around 300. In a 3-4, 284, perfection. Why? Because at 284 in a 3-4, you can take on double teams. And with the good isolation, you can get to the quarterback because you've already shown that you can get 4 sacks last year. Can we double that up? And also use it to kill some double teams on the edge? Okay. We're not talking about this person, but let me just show you one other quick thing. Because I've been telling people this. With the Raiders trying to go to a 3-4, this is more what you're going to start seeing. Okay, 301. 301 is a great size for a defensive tackle in the 4-3, right? In the 3-4, however, it's still a defensive tackle, but it's more like a pass rushing defensive tackle, not a standard nose tackle, right? This is just a little bit too small for a standard nose tackle. I actually think one of the reasons why people don't run the 3-4s more is because it's really hard to get really good nose tackles. So even in a 3-4, even Thomas Booker would kind of be regarded as a defensive end because it's going to be on the end, but he may not and probably will not be able to record as much sacks. So he's going to be mostly playing content on the edge to make sure the run doesn't get through there. So that's one thing there. Let me show you one more quick person just to bring this home real quick. Okay. I could have listed Brandon Cleveland as a person to watch because Brandon Cleveland is a 315. This is a defensive tackle. Even in a 3-4, this is a defensive tackle, right? So then going back to Sir Hemingway, he all of a sudden becomes the perfect size for a defensive end because he can stop the run because he's got the size and the power with 280, and he can get down to the quarterback. Okay, and right next to him on the other side, you're going. Okay, I know Max Crosby is a topic here. We're gonna get to Max Crosby at some point, not right now though. But right next to him, you're going to try and put somebody like where we at, Quitty Pay. Quitipe is 265. Quitipe is perfect for both 3-4 and 4-3 as an edge. And you see they list him as an edge. They're not even trying to list him as an he's Quitipe is a pure edge. He's as edge as it gets. He will stop the run. He will get to the quarterback. That's what he does. All the best edge in the game are going to be between 250 to 265, pushing out to 270 in a standard 4-3. But once you move that down to a 3-4, again, Quitipe next to Tucker Hemingway and a Brandon Cleveland in the middle, now you've got something. The question of Max Crosby is there, but I do need to remind people once more there was a reason the Raiders were willing to trade Max Crosby. Okay, so once we don't need to linger on that, understanding that having been able to bookend both of your middle section with two big enough people to stop the run if it's coming, to take on double teams, to take on guards, to take on pulling guards and pulling tackles when that comes. Um, where is he at? Tonka. Everywhere. Oh, it's H. Right? Being able to bookend that, because again, the biggest weakness of the 3-4 defense is to run. Right? There's only three people on the line, meaning that they're going to be outnumbered by the offensive linemen, easily outnumbered. So you do want to put bigger people on the line to at least mitigate how much they can hurt you on the run. Because guess what? If a team just keeps getting 5 yards against you, they'll win the game. 5 + 5 is going to equal 10. They'll just keep getting first down until they get the touchdown. So you have to be able to stop the run on the 3-4. But if you have small defensive ends like 250 or even 240, you then start to understand that, oh no, there's no way a 240 is going to go up against a double team. So if you put them against a five lineman and you only put three defensive players in front of them, they're going to get blocked easier. But when you have a 284-pound defensive end, it gets a little harder for them to move him out of the way. At least he can create enough pressure to then allow the next important person on the list to make a play. And then at that point, we move to the linebacker. I will give you my man, my main man, the one and only Nakobe Dean. Love Nakobe Dean. Oh, man, this man was made for football. Just look at his measurables. 5'11". 5'11" in football is short, right? It's on the short end. But for a linebacker, guess what? I'm going to sneak through those holes and you won't see me coming. Okay, carrying on with the theme of the 3-4, with Tonka Hemingway, Quiddy Pay, and Brandon Cleveland, or another big person in the front there. Okay, all they need to do on passing downs is just to either eat up double team or to create enough space for this guy to blitz in. Anybody else would do it too, but I promise you, Nico Bean is going to be doing most of the blitzing. I'm pretty sure he will be doing most of the blitzing, right? Because his job is going to be, and I call it a spear. His job is to be the spear. Find the hole and just stab the enemy right in the heart, right? But if you have three big people in a 3-4 in the front there, it would make it easier for somebody who is 5'11", 230 to just kind of sneak in there and get some pretty pivotal sacks. But remember, Tonka Hemingway is also strong enough and big enough to get sacks himself if you provide him with a good scheme. So if you're going to blitz somebody like a Nakobe Dean right behind a Quiddy Pay or a Tonka Hemingway, it actually helps Quiddy Pay and Tonka Hemingway to potentially get to the quarterback. So now you're kind of trying to understand the scheme-wise why we're switching to a 3-4. It just gives you more versatility and more options. And why you bring in somebody like a Nakobe Dean is that he is really good at understanding those schemes, those gaps, and how to fit into those gaps to stop the running back behind the line and to stop the quarterback, and occasionally get a fumble recovery. Because yes, he got 4 sacks, but this is as a linebacker, not an edge. Because right, 230, right? We're not on that craziness. 230, 240 is not edge, it's linebacker, right? If you want to talk edge, you cannot start going 250 and up. Um, so now you see the front three and the back four, what they will be doing on a regular basis. They will just be causing a lot of disruption for team. So that's why I say he is the second most important person to watch, because what we want to see is how is he going to fit with the three people in front of him, and how is he going to find those gaps to be the spear that we need to get the sacks or the forced fumbles when we need them, right? Uh, there are other people that we have to consider on the linebacker core, including Quay Walker, but I still believe that Kobe Dean is the most important on that side. Right, on the defense, he's going to be the most important because most of the pressure will be coming through what Rob Leonard. Is it Rob? It's Rob Leonard, right? I keep mixing him up with Rob, with the other Rob, the Rob who was also related to the Rob who used to coach for the Raiders defense, D Rob with the hair, the guy that Raiders Nation loves. Um, um, I know his last name is Leonard. I just don't know if it's Rob Leonard. No, I don't think it's Rob Leonard. Whatever his name is, right? So he's his job to scheme up Nakobe Dean to beat that spear, to really get those things when we really need it. But yes, keep in mind we do have Max Crosby, who will most likely be switching from the line to that the will position on the side there. Okay, but like I said, I'm gonna bypass Max Crosby for just for this video, because I'm going to move to the next level, which is the which is the corners and safeties, and I'm going to say that the most important person in that group, where's my boy? Where you at? By the way, I would love to meet all these people and actually talk with them. Not Lucky Tassi. Lucky Tassi will be important for other reasons. We'll get to him when time permits. Where you at? Not. I'm not looking for Stokes. I see Stokes. It would almost be Stokes, but it's not Stokes for a simple reason. Okay. Darian Porter becomes the most important person to watch on that backside. The reason for that is this: the most unsure position on that defense is who's going to be the second corner. Because Eric Stokes is going to be the first corner. And I think Eric Stokes will be the first corner for the next 2 years. And then I think the Raiders are going to trade him. I actually think the Raiders are going to try and trade him because we have so many young corners. So the reason I need to put him on here is because the battle that's going to be happening for that second cornerback is going to be massive. Because that battle is occurring between Darian Porter, Ezekiel Masses, Masses. I see him too. Don't worry. I see him. I see him. Ezekiel Masses, who is only 21, right? Remember, Darian Porter's 25. This guy's only 21, but he's got the measurables and he's got the aggressiveness to actually take that second position. And if you watch his tape, like I have, this guy seems to know how to get takeaways. So this is how he might end up being the second cornerback, because he knows how to get takeaways, because we need somebody who's going to be able to get takeaways. However, the bigger news is that both of them also have to compete with, let's just go slow to get to him, because it's a story. It's a story, right? Where you at? Where you at? And if you're watching, don't worry. I'm taking my time just to make it more exciting, because you think you know who I'm going to point to, but you don't know. You don't know me. You don't know me. Oh yeah, you do. Okay, they are all going to have to compete with Jamard McCoy. Okay. Second reason I didn't see Eric Stokes and I said Darian Porter is because of age, right? Eric Stokes is like 27, so like I said, the Raiders are looking for young, fresh corners to push into the future. Okay. This is the person both Darian Porter and Ezekiel Masses actually have to compete against if they have to compete against him. They may not have to compete against him, however, because, yeah, there is that injury thing that he may have to deal with. But if this guy's healthy, this is the actual person to watch for, and this is what everybody's going to be watching for. Because if he turns out to be healthy, then he can actually take Eric Stokes' place as a number one QB, and Eric Stokes jumps back to number two QB, and then we kind of have a fight as to who's going to take the backup and all that. But we'll be good on that. So the reason why I chose Darian Porter is because he's a second year pro or third year pro. Is he second or third? There's another reason that I'm going to point to right now, but let's get back to him. Darian Porter should be a second year pro. Yeah, 2 year experience. So second year pro going into his third year, right? So at 25, he needs to get paid. But here's the thing with Darian Porter: he's got the best measurables, man. This, first of all, 6'2", 195 is such a perfect size for corner. It is such the perfect size for corner. He's big enough, he's long enough that he can kind of just do it. He can get to the ball anyhow. And it really, really helps that he is very fast. He runs a 4.3. Darian Porter is very fast. And he used to play wide receiver. If he can figure it out, this is going to actually be the de facto number one corner. The question is, can he get enough experience to beat out somebody like a Jamon McCoy? Because Darian Porter only played, I believe, college as a corner, senior year as a corner. He only played corner in for 1 year. He was good in that 1 year. That's why he got drafted so high. For somebody who only played 1 year, he got drafted in the third. So he was good. However, we do still need to acknowledge that playing 1 year in college may not be enough to compete with somebody like a Jamard McCoy, who also is quite built to be that. Now look at Masses as well, 6'1", 185, a little bit smaller than a Darian Porter. Trust me, those 10 pounds do make a difference. They actually do make a difference. But again, at the age of 21, he might still be able to put up a little bit more muscle and get over to around 190. Okay, and then you put in Jamal McCoy, who let me find him real quick because Jamal McCoy is not as fast as Jamal McCoy doesn't run a 4.3. And I don't think he ever ran a 4.3. So I don't know if anyone would ever say that he runs a 4 because I don't think that's his game. But if you watch him play, he knows how to use his 193 frame much better than a Darian Porter. He's just a much more polished cornerback, even though he's only 20 years old. So if he's healthy, he's just so much more polished. He knows how to use his frame. And if you watch his tape and compare that to Darian Porter, you'll understand that he knows how to use this frame to box out receivers much better than a Darian Porter will. So, and I'll go back again and say it that when it comes to the story of the corners, Jamal McCoy is the most polished as a corner, the most well-rounded. Darian Porter is the one with the most speed, and Ezekiel Massie seems to be the one who's better able to get takeaways or just be in a place where the ball is going to be. Don't ask me how he does it because I don't know. I've seen his tape, and I'm still like going, how did you know the ball would come like right there, like right? So those are the stories. Those are the stories that you will be looking for at training camp from the Raiders on all three levels. And yes, Tonka Hemingway, believe it or not, I think is the most important on that defensive line because if you can tap into something for a 280 defensive end in a 3-4, I actually think he might be able to wreck games potentially. But that's the story of the Raiders when it comes to the 2026 NFL season and the training camp. What are we looking for? What should we be looking for? Those are the three things you should be looking for. Tucker Hemingway, if he takes a starting job, that's really good news. Nicobe Dean, if he is healthy, that's really good news. And of course, Darian Porter, if he starts picking up on his third year, understanding what he needs to do as a corner, that actually bodes really well for our other corners because both Masses and Jamal McCoy are 21 and 20. It gives them time to develop while Eric Stokes kind of regains himself, and then we can kind of let him go to another team and have two or three cornerbacks who are ready to take his place. So that's the story. Thank you for watching. Next time I am gonna bring more stories to be looking for during training camp as we get into training camp that's starting next week. I think training camp starts in about 8 days, and I will be keeping you guys updated on every single story during training camp. But on offense, I made the video giving you three names. I'll give you three. I'll give you more names as time passes. But go look at those three names because those three names are going to be important. And now this these three names are also very important for understanding what's happening on the defense and what you should be looking for. Thank you for watching. All right, take a quick break. Yeah, let's do this. Yeah, let's do this. Ah, I will be back in shortly as soon as this thing gets us started. I think I'm feeling this game, but we'll see. Maybe, maybe. Ah, ladies and gentlemen, lady, 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 lady. All right, what bubble gum? Oh, is this the battle pass? Ooh, that doesn't look too bad, but it's not animated, so I don't want it. Me me no want it. Yo, what up? Oh my goodness, you're gonna hate me so much. You're gonna. I just finished the Raider talk. What's good, man? I just finished. Don't hate me. Don't leave. Don't leave. We're still a Raider. We are a Raider channel. I promise. We are a Raider channel. But I just finished the Raider talk. How you doing today, though? How you doing today? How you doing today? This is. And I've said this before on stream. I play video games at the end to kind of just relax and like have like chill with people. So thanks for coming in. Business Decision Sports You, you, you did, but you did miss me. Still here. So today I talked about three players for the defense you should be looking for. You should be looking at during training camp. So here, I'll push record. I'm gonna ask a question and I'm gonna post it. So, according to you, what three players would you say we should be looking at during the Raiders training camp? Three on offense and three on defense. Give me your names. This is being recorded. All right, so this is business decisions. Hey, you know, sometimes you gotta make business decisions. You know, like kicking Antonio Pierce out the door. Anyways, three players to watch for on offense and defense during training camp. Then I'll tell you mine. In the meantime, I'm gonna get in the driving range and shoot some pop out. We're gonna shoot some pop out.
My ultimate's ready.
I love you. Okay. My defense was Dean, Darian Porter, but in that Darian Porter talk, I talked heavily about McCoy, right? Because we know with him, it's really the injury, right? That's really the thing that's potentially a problem. If that's healthy, he's totally there. Okay. I didn't put Stooks because you know what? I think Stooks is already a starter. I actually think Stooks is going to be a day one starter at free safety. I know it sounds weird, but I legit think he's locked that down. And based on what we're hearing from OTAs, I think that position is locked down. But here's the thing. McCoy is 20 years old. Before we start talking McCoy, I kind of want to talk Darian Porter a little bit more. Because Darian Porter does have the prototypical size height for a corner. I mean, he's got it perfectly. And he's got 4.3 speed. Now, McCoy is more polished, and McCoy uses his body much better to space off wide receivers. But I feel like if Darian Porter can figure it out, it will give McCoy and Ezekiel Massis just a little bit more time to develop or get healthy. Right? Because Ezekiel Massis is actually getting a lot of buzz right now at OTAs with what he's been doing, right? So when the training camp heats up, and I've already said that defensive cornerbacks, defensive backs, that's going to be the most competitive part of the camp, right? I'm not worried about injury. McCoy hasn't played in a year, so he's rusty. Exactly. So he's rusty. So I am really hoping Darian Porter is the one that kind of pulls ahead. You know what my third person was? Check this out. Hunker Hemingway. And not because it's tackle. In a 3-4, Tonka Hemingway will be an edge because he's 280. You don't think Porter's gonna make it? Yeah, you know what? I'm with you because I'm with you. I am. And it's because he doesn't use his body well. He has the size, he's got the height, but he doesn't use his body well enough to block off receivers from making plays. Right? But it feels like he can, right? Because the biggest thing with him is he did not start playing corner till senior year in college, right? That's when he started playing corner. He was a senior in college when he started playing corner. Before that, he was wide receiver, right? Lacks experience. Exactly. So Jamal McCoy, at 20 years old, has much more experience playing corner than Darian Porter does at 25 years old. But if for some reason something can click in Darian Porter's mind and lets him know you need to use your body to block off receivers, to cut off those lanes, because if you watch Jamal McCoy, that's what Jamal McCoy is really good at, right? Jamal McCoy is excellent at using his body to space out wide receivers. Darian Porter's not, because that's the things that takes tons of experience to understand. So you know, if you're saying Porter is done, he's cooked, I'm with you. I think you're right. I'm just praying that one more year that he'll get it. Like one more year to be like, oh no, I got it. I'm big. I'm fast. I need to use my body to just good, good, good. You know what I mean? Um, but my third was Tonka Hemingway. Like I said, because in a 3-4, Quiddy and Tonka Hemingway actually become the defensive ends because they both have the size in a 3-4, right? Quiddy is 265. That's big enough. Tonka is 280, which is too small for a defensive tackle. That's a twinner. But in a 3-4, it's perfect size for a defensive end in a 3-4. And last year he got 4 sacks. I say, can we double that this year? 8? Tonka? 8 sacks? Perfect. In a 3-4, eating up double teams when necessary, right? And then you got to go begin blitzing from the back to create more pressure. I like it. Personally, I like it. I think there's something there. Because I know what you're going to ask about then, right? Because now the question of Max Crosby comes into play. I'm going to say this. I'm not trying to annoy Raider Nation. I do not think Max Crosby fits very well in a 3-4 defense. I don't. Now, he's going to be good at it. I actually think he is because he is Max Crosby. And motor is his thing. Thankfully, because if motor was not his thing, then I would not. 253 in a 3-4 is just a bit too small for edge. Unless you can bring something else to the table with it, right? Let me know what you think on that. So the question is, a legitimate question is, what is Max Crosby going to do on this defense? And I keep reminding people, this is important. There was a reason the Raiders were willing to trade Max Crosby. It's not because he's not a great player. I think it's partly because he doesn't fit the scheme well enough to where we can kind of say, yeah, we can trade him for assets. The good thing is, though, Crosby is good against the run. But remember, in a 3-4, he's going to be going up against both the guard and the tackle at the same time and trying to figure out who's going to try and block him or double team him. Right? Let me know your thoughts on that as I hit the range here real quick. And are you in the world of talking business when it comes to sports?
My ultimate's ready.
Kind of missing a bit. That's Yep, I see that. I saw that coming. I say Stooks because let's see if he can fill the hole. Oh, yeah. You're talking about okay. Question with Stooks: are you thinking free safety, or are you thinking strong safety or slot corner? Because I'm thinking purely free safety. I'm thinking purely free safety. Because I think that's what makes the most sense. And you think Max is going to shine? Yeah, and I until Max doesn't shine, I have zero room to say that Max won't shine. That's the thing with Max. Like, until he stops shining, he's going to shine. It's gonna be hard to, yeah. Especially in a 3-4, right? Because if you isolate Max to even if you isolate him to a single team, it's probably gonna beat that. If you isolate him to a double team, he's gonna cause enough trouble to where the guys blitzing from the back will be able to do something. So I do think you're right on that because the thing with the 3-4 is it is more in line. So the 3-4 will cover the nose and the 2 guards, generally speaking, right? The big problem is going to be that tackle and the double teaming that tackle is going to do on the edge, right? Because again, the weakness of the 3-4 is run. It's weak against the run. And that's why you need bigger people on that line there to just bring you more power. Otherwise, your defensive linemen are going to be getting pushed around. because there's only 3 of them on the line, right? But of course, we've also said, even though we're running a 3-4, it's going to be a 3-4 hybrid. So it is going to be a 3-4 with the wheelbacker and the what's the other side of the wheelbacker? Is it called a jackback? I'm the guy who advises you about the my man. Yes, thank you. It worked. Uh, it's working. It's working. I have to get better with the description game, but it is working. Thanks for that. That actually did boost my watch. Okay, so he thinks Stooks is be free safety and nickel. Yeah, so free safety and then coming down to the nickel in a nickel package. Um, yeah, yeah, okay, yeah, I think so too. I think his size, height, speed. We're talking safety, nickel, perfect. This funny thing is this. So we're running a 3-4, right? So we say, but a nickel is a 4-3, right? A nickel is a 4-3 with an extra person pushed to the side. Um, and I think the Raiders are going to feast in the nickel. I think if the Raiders run nickel a lot, they are going to feast. Because here's what's happening right now, currently in the NFL, when it comes to defensive play. So a lot of defense are starting to run more untraditional formations, like dime. Correct this if it's wrong, but I don't think it is. I think the Seattle Seahawks last year, I think they ran base dime. I think they did. At least they ran a lot of dime. Not only that, they didn't do a lot of shifting. I wouldn't be surprised if Sandback. Okay, so we got this. We got the wheel, and then we got the Sam strong side, weak side. Okay. Obviously, Max would be Will, not Sam, because he plays on the left side, facing the offense. He plays on the left side. So who do you think will have the Sam backer role? Because right now, Kian Sloan. That's who I'm thinking of that would take that position. Let's look it up real quick. That's where my mind is going. If we just do a little bit of formational. Let me find Sloan real quick, because I actually think that he is going. I think so I've already said this. This DN, no, he's not a DN. He's 239. That's not a DN. That's a DN in a small college. That is not a DN in a good college. I think he's going to be the Sam backer. Now I know he's a rookie, but I can't think of anybody else that would take his place except for, wait for it. Question, Biz. Malcolm Coons. You think Malcolm Coons will play Sam backer? Because again, in a 3-4, Malcolm Coons cannot play edge. He's way too small. He's too small for edge for a 4-3. Right? Let's bring him up real quick. Coons is K. Malcolm Coons. Oh, where's the K? People don't really have last names of K. In a 3-4 defense, this is too small for edge. It's too small. It won't work. This is too small. It won't work. I will tell people this. It's not about grit. It's not about it. Just this would not work for edge. It's too small. So, are we playing Sam? You can run a lot of dime, strong, nickel when you stop the run out of it. Okay. So if we're going dime, strong, nickel, and we're trying to stop the run, I think we've got the people. We've got Booker, 301, right? We got Booker at 301. You just said it. Okay. I haven't talked about Crawford in a while, so let's talk about him real quick. Because remember I said the best edges right now that we have for a 3-4 is actually going to be Quiddy Pay and the guy who was not playing edge but playing DT before, Tucker Hemingway. Crawford, Mr. Crawford. Here's where I'm currently at with him. Here's where I'm currently at with him. I love it. I love it. I love it. First of all, 22 years old, so he's not going to get anyone's way. He doesn't need to start right away, right? He's actually going to be playing the position that Quiddy Pay generally. Oh, no. He can play both sides, but I think he generally plays right side, right? Generally plays right side, which I think is a position that Quiddy Pay will be playing. At 250, this is a perfect size for defensive end in a 4-3. But remember, he's only 22 years old. In 1 year, he is going to look out for this, because I've said this before. Players grow in their first few years. He is probably going to grow to around 260 to 265. I hope. I really hope. Because if he does 260 to 265, then he becomes a prototypical edge. And remember, the problem with him right now, as if I already broke it down, is because of inexperience. He only started playing football in high school, as a senior in high school. So super inexperienced. And when you watch his tape, you realize this big problem is he doesn't use a lot of power. He doesn't use a ton of power. He wants to get around the tackle and swipe down. But to be a good prototypical edge, you actually need to go through the tackle and then get around him. So I say, if we're doing 3-4, give him at least 8-9 more pounds by his second year. And now we're talking Quiddy Pay size, right? Because remember, Quiddy Pay is 265. That's why Quiddy Pay is the perfect edge for 3-4 and 4-3. And that's why we got Quiddy Pay, even though people don't realize Quiddy Pay is very good. Quiddy Pay is very good. Quiddy Pay is a very good prototypical edge. I like him to be a little bit bigger to be a good prototypical edge. I'm talking Will Anderson Jr. He's 265. I'm talking, what's his name? Myles Garrett. Myles Garrett is 275. If he can maintain 265 and still maintain his speed, I'm telling you right now, and I've already made a video on it, you can go watch it. I believe he will be a better player than Max Crosby. Because the story is the same as Max, right? Got drafted in the third or fourth, one of those. Max got drafted in the fourth, I think. And I think he also got drafted in the fourth. Same story as Max, right? Not a ton of experience, but a ton of burst. That's my final thing on him. What you smoking? I'm not smoking nothing right now, but I can take a puff. Call it magic. What's up, the Raider Pond? Raider Nature Ponds. But no, not better than Max. He will become better than Max. Yeah, he's not better than Max right now, but he could become better than Max. Why do I say that? Because he's only 22 years old. He already got the size of 253. He's got the speed. If he can put on a bit more weight, he can become better than Max Crosby. So question is, why do you not think he can become better than Max Crosby? Why? What is special about Max Crosby? Because Max Crosby is not the best edge in the league. Max Crosby is not even. Max Crosby's top 5? Okay, Max Crosby is a unicorn. But what makes him a unicorn? Let's talk about that. We say he's a unicorn. Okay, what makes him a unicorn? He's not the best edge in the league. Not even close. And I don't even mean that with disrespect. There's 4 people that I'm right now that I'm thinking of that are better than Max, right? What makes Max Crosby a unicorn is his motor, right? Would you say that? That's what makes him a unicorn. He's a go. He has no help. Okay. So right now, Max Crosby has no help, right? That's what we say. And I agree. Max Crosby has no help. So are we suggesting that if you give Max Crosby help, that he'll be able to put up 16 sacks a year because the most Max has done sack-wise is what, 14? Yeah, it's exactly. It is hard for average players, and that's why you draft somebody like a Keon Crawford in the fourth, because you're hoping that he's going to become more than average, right? Because remember his story. He didn't start playing college. He didn't start playing football till he was a senior in high school, right? A senior in high school starts playing football, 253 at the age of 22. Will he become a unicorn? Maybe not, but remember, Max Crosby was not a unicorn coming out of college. Max Crosby became a unicorn, right? It's not just about sacks, exactly. And that's why I've always said my biggest issue with him when I look at his tape is that he's not good against the run. And not being good against the run means that you can't take on double teams well enough. And the reason why he's not good against the run is because he's so new to football, he doesn't use power. And if you go watch his tape, you'll see, compare his tape to like a Michael Parsons. The difference is he doesn't know how to use power yet, but here's why he can become better than Max Crosby. Learning how to use power is much easier in football than learning how to like do a swim around the tackle. If you can just learn to push the tackle back, that's going to get you way, way farther than doing everything else. So again, keep in mind what I'm saying completely. If he gains a bit more weight, because 253 is good, but in a 3-4, it's a little hard because you're going up against guards and tackles simultaneously. If you can get yourself to around 260, 265, he's going to be 10 pounds bigger than Max Crosby. 5-6 years younger than Max Crosby. In a much better defense than Max Crosby has always had. Again, I'm not saying Max isn't good or better. I'm just saying that this dude is in a much better situation. And given his body type, I think he can become better than Max Crosby. He's going to learn on the Max, so I'm good with, yeah, exactly. My brother, that's exactly what I'm saying. Raider Nation all day. Doesn't matter. I want Max on the field all the damn time. But if Max is not able to be on the field, yeah, this is Max Crosby's understudy. This is him. Right? This is why did Tyree Wilson not work out? I have a theory on that, why Tyree Wilson didn't work out. I'm actually bummed we traded Tyree Wilson. I'm actually pretty bummed about it, right? But this is the replacement to study under Max Crosby. And this replacement can work better than Tyree Wilson, because I'm going to say this. I'll say it. I think the number one reason Tyree Wilson did not develop is because Max Crosby never leaves the field. And Tyree Wilson, if you go watch him play in college, primarily played in the same position that Max Crosby. And remember, Max never left the field. It wasn't like take a break so the rookie can come in. Max Crosby just never left the field. So he doesn't have to worry about that because Max Crosby is already 27 years old. Because the biggest problem with Max Crosby is going to, and remember, we were willing to trade him, right? Remember that we're willing to trade Max Crosby? Max is a unicorn because he has motor, but that same motor that he has chips away at his body every single year. That's the issue with Max Crosby. If you're going to be in the game all game long, your body is going to take a beating all game long. Yes, Max Crosby is a unicorn, but have you ever seen a unicorn die? It is a resounding like, wow, you've lost your luster. Now, is Max gonna lose it? I don't think so. I think Max will be a good player for the next 5 years. Why? Because Max wants to make it. Max wants to get to the Hall of Fame. Here's the problem. To get to the Hall of Fame, Max has a lot of work to do, man. He's never won Defensive Player of the Year. The most sacks he's ever had was, I think, 12, 13. Can somebody look that up? I think it was like 12 or 13 sacks. We must win. And we must win. Raider Nation, and we must win. And we must win. So I'll throw this question out there, Raider Nation. Do we think Max has enough steam in the engine to be a Hall of Famer? If he has help, because he does have help now on all 3 levels of the field. He does have help now, right? But let's keep in mind, some of those helps can also honestly kind of surpass Max Crosby. And that's the point that I'm making, because I do want players to surpass Max Crosby. I know you do too, because Max is 29 years old. Right? I need players to surpass him. Is Max 29? I think Max is 29. I can look it up right here. Crosby. 28. Max is 28 years old, 255 pounds. And at 255 pounds, he can't put on any more weight at 28 years old. He can't. So this is going to be Max. Okay, now, Raider Nation Pawns. Understand this, right? We've been mostly running a 4-3, and Max has not gotten much help. Okay, now we're going to be running a 3-4, meaning that Max is going to be lined up against the tackle and the guard every single play. That's a lot of work. And that's the reason why a lot of teams don't actually run 3-4s, because I don't know if the body size you need for a 3-4 is not. It's really not 250. It's really not 250, right? And that's why I say Tonka Hemingway. Let's go to Tonka Hemingway. Is the best edge, that will be the best edge that we have now. Oh, I'm about to blow your mind, Raider Ponds. You're about to hate me. Tonka Hemingway in the 3-4 actually becomes our potential best edge. The reason why is 284 in a 4-3 does make you a tackle, but it makes you a twin of a tackle. Right? In a 3-4, 284 makes you a perfect edge, size-wise. Linebackers. Oh man, I've already talked about this, but I'll talk about this all day. We can talk about this all day. Linebackers. My favorite addition this year by the Raiders was, ready for it? Nakobe Dean. This is your pressure. Nakobe Dean is a sack master. Nakobe Dean is one of the best pressure linebackers in college and the NFL. This is cavalry. Him right here. And it's perfect. Why? 5'11", 230. Nakobe Dean is really good because he knows how to shoot through holes unseen. Healthy, gotta be healthy. I know. So on the injury, it's gotta be minor, right? It's gotta be minor. I know. I'm gonna drop another Reddit content name. I know Mitchell Rand had a video today, already talking about replacements. We're not talking about replacements for Nakobe Dean. We're not talking about replacements. He is injury prone. He is, but luckily though, he did play most games last year. And at the age of 25, I think his body is going to be a bit more mature now. So players that are injury prone, there's two types of injury proneness. There's one where it just has to do with age. Your body's still growing, so you things just kind of get hurt more. Once your body kind of matures up a bit, your bones sticking up a little bit more, it becomes a bit harder to get injured. And at 5'11", 230, Nakobe Dean can actually fit into holes pretty well to be able to not have as much injuries. But football's hard because injuries will just happen, right? And it did, yeah, he wasn't at OTAs. Here's the thing: the team is pretty confident on Nakobe Dean. The coaches do not seem worried at all. Dude, he is light years better than what we had last year. He is our entire. The Raiders linebacker core is still the weakest we had of the team. Yes, if you go look it up, our linebacker core is still the weakest that we have of the team because we only really have two names, Nakobe Dean and Quay Walker, right? Thankfully, both Nakobe Dean and Quay Walker played at Georgia together as teammates, so they know how to communicate. But after those two, the only other people that I can think of playing linebacker is going to be where are you at? Cody, where are you at? Cody. Tommy Eichenberg, who I think can play a good will backer or a good sandbacker. Yes. So Quay Walker is the green dot, so that's gonna be Quay Walker. or trading Stooks, but I think it's going to be Quay Walker has more NFL experience, so it'll be Quay Walker, right? The Birds, yeah. And then we got Tommy Eichen, because he's going to be the Will or Sam, right? And then you got the other Bird playing Will or Sam. Guys, the Raiders linebacker core, yeah, we heard. I'll say it right now, Biz, and it's going to happen, so just don't be surprised. Malcolm Coons is going to become a linebacker. Malcolm Coons will become a Will or Sam linebacker. Because as a coach-minded person, I am not putting a 243 on the edge. I'm just not doing it. In a 3-4, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. So, I think Malcolm Coons will become a linebacker. What do we think on that? I really think he's going to become a linebacker because I think he needs to become a linebacker. I don't know how else he's going to be impactful for the team if he doesn't become a linebacker. I don't know what he's going to do. You know what I mean? 28-year-old edge in a 3-4. I don't think that'll work. I think he's going to become a linebacker. We got another names, a couple of more names that I think are going to become linebackers, right? Oh no, maybe just him. Maybe just him. A part of me somewhat thinks that they might make Crosby a Will backer, but I don't think Crosby can play backer. I don't think he can because Crosby can't cover, right? That's the one thing Crosby can do. He cannot cover, right? I've never seen him cover. Right? And even in a 3-4, guess what? Thomas Booker is also an edge in a 3-4. A 301 is also an edge. Base is only 10 to 15% of the time. Yeah. So base 3-4, 10 to 15%. We're talking first downs, right? 3-4. Maybe second down, depending on what the down is. Once you get into third, that depends on if it's third and long, third and short. You're not doing a 3-4. If you do, you're moving those Will and Sam backers up front to become a 5 front, right? To switch to a 5-2, a 5-2-4. And in a long situation, I think you'll just go nickel. Yeah, so yeah, base will only be 10 to 15% of the time. Yeah. And as I was saying, Thomas Booker in a 3-4 also becomes an edge. Because 301 is not big enough to be on nose, right? And I wonder if this is the logic of moving to the edge, that we just have a lot of big guys who don't really fit traditional roles really well. Like in a 4-3, yeah, Thomas Booker is a perfect tackle. But he got 0 sacks last year, and he played every game and got 0 sacks. Yikes. 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 I'm saying yikes. But make him an edge. In a 3-4, I think is an edge. Because in a 3-4, your actual tackles are going to be Brandon Cleveland that we just drafted. Did you watch the Raiders production video just posted? No. No. You guys mind if we watch that now? Please. Please. Is it on the Raider channel? You're talking about Behind the Shield, episode 1?
Wearing the silver and black is a privilege.
Are you talking about this?
Few,
oh, perfect. Okay, yeah.
By many.
I hope you guys
Best team in the world.
Please, let's
Simple
watch
as
this.
that.
You win here.
It's so funny because I forgot about it, but I actually did start it because I saw it earlier. I actually did set the notification for that. So yeah, let's see. Oh my God, I'm gonna love this. Let's fucking go. Okay, let's watch this. I'm sorry, guys. I'm a nerd. I'm a Raider nerd. I love all of this. Let's go. Okay.
But what is it about the Raiders exactly? Is it the shield, a symbol of greatness?
It's the patch. It's the fans.
Unchanging.
Oh, fucking
forever
Davis.
instilling a commitment to excellence.
The Raiders introduced Clint Kubiak as their new head coach this morning.
The colors, the silver and
Oh,
black.
that's our boy right there, man. This man.
Colors,
Fucking
the
legend.
silver and black,
This is no ordinary job. This is the silver and black.
It is?
timeless in every way.
Shoot, what's up,
Oh,
Mr.
dude.
Brady? How you
We
doing?
played nothing but silver and black.
Whatever it may be,
We were born bleeding,
Like us or not.
bleeding silver and black. I actually grew up in the Bay, by the way. I grew up in San Leandro, Oakland, California. For those who don't know, I lived like 20 minutes from the Coliseum. I went to San Leandro High.
don't care. Allow us to remind you, there's 31 other teams.
But they don't.
And there
They
are
don't matter.
ones.
This is basically the greatest offseason for a single team in NFL history.
Would you agree with that statement? This is the greatest offseason in a single team for any team. This is the greatest Raiders offseason that I've ever seen, and I've been a fan of the Raiders since 1996, and this is the best offseason I've ever seen.
It's a new dawn,
It's such an iconic logo.
new challenges, same goal.
There's a lot of hope this is the catalyst.
The pursuit of greatness.
Oh, there he is.
continues.
That's Keon.
There's a lot of hope this is the catalyst.
The pursuit
Oh, that's our boy Keon. Okay.
of greatness continues.
And welcome to the dark side.
Ah, baby. Mm. I'm already liking this production. This is great. Behind the shield. Okay. Yeah, the narrative is awesome. Do we know who the narrator is? Oh, I've never been to a Legion because I live in Canada. I moved to Canada before the Legion was open, so I've never been to a Legion.
It'll be from 60. For the win. Cole puts it down. The kick is on its way. Good from 60. And with 8 seconds to go. On the final game of the season.
You know what? I can't even hate Pete Carroll. Pete Carroll did two things for the Raiders that I am forever grateful of. Got us a first overall pick, and he won the last game against the Chiefs. Thank you, Pete Carroll. I don't slander people, but Pete Carroll did the two most important things I wanted him to do: beat the Chiefs once and get us a quarterback. He did both.
The Raiders go into the offseason with a win. And the #1 draft pick in April.
I've been once. We beat the Jets out. Michael Mayer in the end zone last play. Oh man. You beat. Oh man, I'm so jealous. I'm so fucking jealous. My time will come. My time will come. Rest assured, my time will come. But that is so cool. Dude, do you know how awful this offseason will have been? Oh, I will go. Oh, trust me. I will be a Legion at some point. Nothing can keep me from a Legion. It's just a matter of time, resource, but we will be there. We will be there. Can you imagine if we didn't get the first overall pick? Yeah, man. Oh, you're going to a New Orleans game this year? Yes. I'll be streaming that game. I mean, I'm going to stream every game, so, you know.
I want to thank all of our coaches, all of the players, all of the support staff, that despite our record, they worked tirelessly, they poured their hearts into it, they never wavered, and it was great to see that culminate with a win. We have a massive opportunity in front of us this offseason to set this organization.
Oh, that earlier speech, I think that was after the last game of last season.
This franchise on a course for success and provide the results that the Raider Nation and the Las Vegas community deserves and expects. We intend to tack it full on. The work has already begun. There's a lot to be excited about here, and it is going to be my responsibility to lead this up and set this organization on a course of sustained.
By the way, just so you guys know, my channel will do videos like this, like big productions. Oh, we will. For now, I'm still gathering the resources and the fans, but we'll do some cool stuff, and we'll talk about some historical stuff with the Raiders. Because when I say I love the Raiders, you gotta understand, I love the Raiders. I can tell you a story that I'm not going to tell you yet about why I love the Raiders that will make you go, oh, you will not doubt my Raider fanship, because I will walk you down to my high school. We will walk down to the Coliseum, and we will be singing, I'm a Raider, Oakland Raider, from the Bay to LA to Las Vegas all day, and I won't stop.
And then I was mic'd up
JJ got four.
an entire
yes,
weekend.
JJ got 4 sacks.
Stare at the camera, right?
Last year, yeah.
You're staring at me.
I'm staring at you?
Yes.
Okay.
I think he's gonna get more this year.
I learned a lot, and I wrote a lot of self-critical things down throughout the year. I think it's just to be honest with where we're at and what we're trying to do, and to live in that space. I think we're trying to show progress. You know, we have to admit the mistakes that we made in the past.
Mm-hmm.
This was a critical offseason for us to start building this organization and this franchise in a manner in which we really want. And
I do have a 2-year-old, so I don't curse
there's excitement with that. There's a little bit of stress that goes with that, but it wasn't anything that we wouldn't expect or didn't welcome as part of the job. And as we talked more and more about it, we knew where we were at, and we were determined to be thoughtful with our approach, prepared,
I cannot wait for
just to let it rip.
To start. I'm not even saying season, training camp.
It's going to be a fun off season as we continue to talk about who the #1 overall pick. It's going to be very busy for all of us, and we look forward to it. We love talking about the Raiders organization.
Well, and don't forget all that money, right? The Raiders have a lot of cap space too. So
Remember Eric Allen playing?
That's a big part of
I was a corner safety wide receiver in high school, so I love Eric Allen playing. Oh, you're from Oakland, Biz? Oh, where in Oakland? I grew up specifically on in San Leandro, Broadmoor Avenue, right on the edge of Oakland. Right on the edge of Oakland. My high school quarterback was an NFL quarterback, Dennis Dixon. 7th round pick for the Steelers. He did play a game. Yeah, that was my high school quarterback.
free agency report.
The team aspect of football is, I think, what I love the most.
Yo, everyone's
it's
saying
most
what
visible
up.
on the field.
It is beginning. The revolution is beginning.
The teamwork that must go into running a draft or running free agency is vitally important to the team that we ultimately see on Sundays. And so to have Brian Stark, he has a really unique perspective on offensive football and quarterback play. To have him and his expertise in that space has been a big add for me, but really for the entire Raiders organization. Brandon Hunt's journey through the Steelers organization and then to Philadelphia.
I love this look. This look with the light just on his face with that. Oh, I'm a content creator, so I care a lot about lighting and camera and all that shit. This is really, really cool. And that's some good camera right there.
Winningest franchises in really the last 20 years since he's been doing it. He's one of the most optimistic and upbeat people that you could want to have in a football building. And then BY is probably as organized and detailed of a person as I've been around in that college director space. His ability to process a ton of information, to organize it. Everything is aligned. Every detail is taken care of, from the player reports to the alerts that we put on each player to the background. It is so well organized and coordinated amongst all the road scouts, the area scouts.
For anyone who might be watching,
it was a challenging season. There was some disappointment there. There was a lot of promise too, but coming out of the season, there were some holes, and we knew we needed to overall build the depth on the team, continuing to build on the young new.
Okay, I got to stop for one really good story. So I ran into a high school football team training in Canada. Remember, Canada's at CFL. Different rules. So one, I found out that Canadian high school actually uses American football. And this was really cool. The team that I ran into, and I spoke to their coach, he was really cool. They're already wearing Guardian hats in high school. Of course, it's a Catholic school, so they have a lot more resource than generally most other schools. But yes, guys, Guardian hats are showing up in high school now. So football safety is going everywhere, okay? I should consider going on your show, brother. I don't have to consider that. The answer is fucking yes. Give me the information, man. I need to spread my name out there. I got to spread my joy out there. People got to see this mug of mine. I got to make a living. You see, look behind me. You see how you see nothing Raiders? I do not own any Raider merch. Why? Because I'm a poor, broke YouTuber. I ain't even got money for that. That's why I don't pay. I bleed Raider in my heart, but it doesn't bled into resources yet to buy the Raider stuff. So yes, the answer is yes. I would love to come on your show. This is you're seeing me, right? This is what you'll get. Right? I'm all energy. I'm all Raider energy. We will have a lot of fun. Honestly, if you're interested, I'm interested. Let's get the show going. There's only one person I know on the Raider podcasting, Chantel. I do know Chantel. I do have her on my DMs. We don't talk a whole lot, but I do know Chantel. But she actually works for Locked On Raiders, so I am trying to make my way into Raiders. I don't even own a hat, bro. I got a 2-year-old baby, man. Yes, Chantel is Canadian. Yes, she is. And in fact, that's why she found me, because so you guys know, I'm producing this in Canada. I'm in Canada right now, even though I grew up in Oakland. Right? And the reason why this makes sense for me is because the Raiders actually just became the official partners of Canada. Right? So, and for those who don't live in Canada, I live in British Columbia. Let me tell you, there are so many Raider fans here that I am hoping that the Raiders are going to play a game at BC Place. I am praying that we play a game at BC Place against the Seahawks. If anyone knows how to contact the Raiders, if that game happens at BC Place against the Seahawks, oh my God, it will be bonkers, because BC doesn't have a good sports team. They don't. They're starving for one. The best sports team here is the Canucks, hockey, and football's a bigger deal than hockey. Let's put it that way. So, get back
nucleus that had kind of started to be assembled on those positions where we knew we could create some holes.
My money is Japan, bro. Oh, wait till I tell you about the 2 years I lived in Japan. Yes, I lived in Japan. Yes, I know what you're thinking. What? How? I'm a U.S. veteran of the United States Air Force. I'm telling you, support this channel. This is the one. We got it all. Yes, I'm a U.S. veteran of the United States Air Force. And yes, I lived on Okinawa, Japan for 2 years. And yes, I am keeping every eye on Tokyo toes, because if that... What, you're living in Japan right now? No. Are you military? Oh, I'm gonna wait for you to respond. Oh, you're not, but you are? Okay. Which is which? I'm here, bro. Oh, you're here for me. Thank you. You and Biz, do not leave. There's another person who's been here for me. He hasn't come for the evening shows yet, because I just started evening shows, and going forward, all of my shows will be evening shows, except for the games. I'm gonna stream every game, would not be evening, but everything else will be evening shows, because I do want as much people to catch it. Yes, I am a U.S. veteran, and I lived in Okinawa, Japan for 2 years. When Tokyo Toast starts to pop off, trust me, man, we're gonna be making so much damn noise.
And we knew we needed to overall build the depth on the team, continuing to build on the young nucleus that had kind of started to be assembled.
Making
sure
nucleus.
that we're adding to that nucleus with the right type of character.
Okay.
And focusing on those positions where we knew we could create immediate competition.
If you are not a lifelong Raider fan, you would not understand the significance of saying good character. This is the reason why the Raiders went from 500 million in worth to 10 billion. People may not realize this. The Raiders players don't get in trouble unless you're the one player we don't want to talk about, and there will be a day to talk about Ruggs. It's not today. I love Ruggs and I hate Ruggs. We'll talk about it, not today. But this idea of we want good characters. You ran into a guy in Portland, and he's from Japan. He said people at his home already talk. Oh yeah. Oh, dude. Japan. If the Raiders get Japanese fans, hey, Mark Davis, look at me. If you need Raider support in Japan, give your boy a call. We'll make something work. If the Raiders start getting fans in Japan, I promise you, it will be good for the Raiders because Japanese fans will travel, and Japanese etiquette is extremely good. Just look at the World Cup. Look at what Japanese fans do after the game. The Raiders could not have signed a bigger name, hoping that he will become something. And all we need is a few games of him just going off. And Japan will be behind, will literally, the rising sun will be behind our backs. If Tokyo Toe becomes something, Raiders will have fans in Japan for life. So I'm praying that he becomes a sensation. I really am.
Competition for starting roles.
Spy has really been very clear about the type of people that we want to bring in. It really starts with guys who want to be Raiders. That's something that's really...
I'm not gonna pause all the time, but people need to understand this. The idea of we want Raiders, that's not something that's new. Because for a lot of history of the Raiders, after Rich Gannon, we did get guys who want really Raiders. And it's really been recent that we kind of come back to this idea of, you know what? Give us Raiders. People who want to be Raiders, who understand what it means to be a Raider, right?
Cool and unique to us because there's a lot of pride in wearing the shield and wearing the silver and black.
Al Davis and Mark Davis and the history of this organization.
I already love John Spantek.
Really,
I already love that man.
The bad boys, really.
Look, so far, what Spantek is doing is great. And I'll say this right now, just in case it comes up another time and people want to leave me in mass. I believe this year now, I was not an Antonio Pierce fan. The day Antonio Pierce got signed, I knew he was not good for the team. If you want to go check up on Q Meyer, your boy Q, he'll tell you. He may not know, he has never seen me, but that day Antonio Pierce got hired, I was like, this is the worst decision the Raiders have ever made. I know people loved him, so I'm just leaving this year now so people don't leave me when I got 10 million followers and then 5 million leave because I don't like Antonio Pierce. I'm just saying, I wasn't a fan of Antonio Pierce. I didn't think it was good for the Raiders. I did understand what he was trying to do, but no, I want Kubiak.
So we want to bring in toughness. We want to bring in leadership. We want to bring in smart players. We want to bring in athletic players. We want to bring in the fastest, toughest, smartest, baddest, meanest group of people together.
Bro, this production is awesome, man. This is really good production.
The Las Vegas Raiders have a unique offseason ahead. Starting with the first overall pick in the 2026 draft. Something that hasn't happened for the Raiders since 2007.
Don't say his name. Don't say his name.
For John Spytek and the...
Don't say his name. Okay? Yes, for those who are watching, the Raiders do have a Voldemort. We do have a Voldemort. We don't say his name. We don't say his name. We do have one. Oh, by the way, that's also tell you guys I love Vegas. I love Las Vegas. Like one of my childhood memories, my favorite childhood memories is traveling to Las Vegas multiple times with my family to go spend time in Las Vegas as a teenager. So you think like gambling? No, people don't understand. Like Las Vegas is one of the best cities in the entire world because Las Vegas is literally two cities in one. Because daytime Las Vegas is completely different from nighttime Las Vegas. If you want to understand how a modern city works and gives people what they want without infringing on other people's freedoms, Las Vegas. Red Rock hiking. Oh man. And I didn't even hike in Las Vegas. But people who've never been to Vegas do not realize how amazing Vegas is. Vegas also happens to be one of the most family-friendly places in the world, except after dark. Oh man. I'm trying to convince my wife to move to Las
Raider
Vegas.
Scouts.
She won't do it.
These next few months are the most important months of the year.
Amazon.
Building a roster
from the
ground up. To remain competitive for years to come, it
We'll call
starts
this the
now.
Mausoleum Scouting Team meeting. Okay.
This is obviously a big week for us as a group.
Yo, man, thank you guys for joining me. Yo, Biz, Red Nation Ponds. Thank you. My content just started. My channel is, I think, less than a month old. I'm serious. I think my channel is like less than a month old, maybe a month. So thank you guys for joining.
Kind of set the course for how we're going to attack these next couple months, and it's really important because of how well positioned we are with the draft too. You know, we're set to have 10 picks. Show them real quick. Obviously,
hell yes.
2.
At what time?
Early 2, which will be the 4th in that round. We have the 3, which is a later 3. And then we have 3 4s. Excuse me.
We got Luckers.
5,
Let's go.
2 6, and a 7.
Yes, I'm free-sided.
So
I have a
lot of draft
2-year-old
capital,
baby,
like
so I gotta work that out.
there
I'm
with
completely
10,
free.
it might be
My
more,
wife
it
will
might be
understand
less.
because
And I have a lot of confidence
shooting for the
that we're
moon.
going to get it right because of the people in this room.
Okay, I'm sorry, guys. I noticed everything.
A lot of confidence that we're going to get it right because of the people.
Bro, if you're saying because of the people in this room and this is the people that you've got, we're in good hands. Right now it is 11:19 p.m.
People in this room.
So I'm Pacific.
Especially like
California, LA time.
So we'll have our initial meetings, and those are primarily focused on makeup and character. We will set the board by player value, but it's primarily to make sure that we identify the players that we want to spend more time with throughout the process, and really make sure that we target the players that we already have determined have a great makeup for the Raiders.
They're watching film, watching practice, watching game tape, and really prepare for the next phase,
if you're
which is the
lurking,
All-Star
man,
games.
come on in. The water's nice and warm, and it is nothing but Raider, baby. It is silver, it is black, and it is the best thing you've ever seen. Ford Center, okay, that's the Dallas Stadium.
For scouts,
Combine.
it means identifying future Raiders.
Oh no, this is Shrine Game. Never mind.
Their role is transformative, shaping the team's success.
Perfect.
And leaving a lasting impact on the franchise for years to come.
Tomorrow? Today? On Saturday.
We have 4.
Really?
Yeah, we have 4. We hired a 4th this year.
How do you want to send me info?
The All-Star games are a really
Let me
cool,
know what I need
unique
to give you.
look at
It doesn't matter,
outside of
even if it's a
their,
number, I'll
call
give
it
it to you.
comfort zone. Outside of their
I know
school,
how to
outside
block
of their
people I don't
campus,
want.
outside of their scheme. So there's a lot of cool views in practice in terms of the one-on.
Oh, Raider Nation, you are making me excited because here's the thing. I do want this channel to be looking at other Raider channels and what they're talking about. It's not going to be the focus of the channel. This channel will blow your mind. If I can tell you what the plan is now, you'll go, okay, no, I'm going to be here for a long time. But if Derek and David say something interesting about the Raiders, yeah, I want to check that out. I do.
Ones. And then it's another touch point for us with the players. Our first time talking to the players is at these All-Star games. But it's exciting because we have 10 picks, and obviously a lot of early ones. And we can finally get out of purgatory in a lot of ways.
10 picks, was that before Max trade or after Max trade? Because the Max trade gave us 1 extra pick and then we lost it, right? So I think we had 10 and then Max made it 11 and then we went back to 10. Mobile, Alabama. Yes, I have been to Mobile, Alabama. I have also been to, I have been to Mobile. Mobile is a home of the of Alabama University, right? Because I've been to Alabama. I think I spent like a week there.
It's a pivotal.
Funny enough, I actually went to Mobile, Alabama. Yep, that's exactly. I went to Mobile, Alabama during the hurricane, that big hurricane they had several years ago. You're there visiting your mom. Oh my God. Are you in Mobile, Alabama? Oh, so they had a tornado several years ago that wiped out a ton of Mobile, Alabama, right? And I went there to do relief work with the church. Yeah, we drove around, took care of people's yards, helped them clean up, and we saw like the tornado devastation. Yeah. Man.
Part of our franchise, like this period right here. So there's a lot of hope that this is the catalyst for, the turnaround.
Yeah, dude, I'm gonna rewind that because I think everything he just said is what the Raiders were hoping for. So I'm gonna listen to this because he just said it. I tell you, I said, "What's up, Biz?"
It's a pivotal part of our franchise, like this period right here.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of hope that this is the catalyst for, the turnaround.
That's it. Literally, what he just said is what the Raider fans are feeling. That the prayer is that this will be the catalyst to just move forward, right? We've been in a slump for so long, and people are so hard on the Raiders. Like, you guys suck. It's like, guys, the Raiders don't suck. The NFL is just very predictable. If you don't have a quarterback, you can't do anything. You just can't in the NFL. You can't.
Like the sentiment around us has really changed because there's so much optimism and hope now. Mm-hmm. And it's like shifted from now like, hey, you guys have a plan and you got a chance.
Yeah.
And
yes.
This could be the point where you turn it.
I already made a video on this talking about what's changed. Why are Raider fans so like happy all of a sudden? Because people don't get it, right? Because to other people, the Raiders suck. It's like, no, if you understand football, then you know why the Raiders are happy. Because we all know that once you get the quarterback, all of football opens up to you. And not just people are like, well, what if Fernando Mendoza is a bad quarterback? He won't be, but you need to understand in football, even if he's a bad quarterback, that actually gives you more room to get to eventually land a good quarterback. You know what I'm saying? Fernando Mendoza will not be a bad quarterback because the man won the Heisman and the national championship. The last quarterbacks that did both, they're not good quarterbacks. That was Joe Burrow who did that. But you got to understand, in the NFL, even if Fernando Mendoza is not a good quarterback, first of all, it's going to take us 4 years to figure out that he's not a good quarterback. And in 4 years, Fernando not being a good quarterback means that we've already drafted another quarterback. In the NFL, the golden ticket, I'll repeat this, in the NFL, the golden ticket is to get the franchise quarterback. That's the Willy Wonka golden ticket. Once you have that, it just becomes a matter of getting people in place to fit that. If you get that as a rookie, guess what? You don't have to pay him $90 million. You can spend all of that money building around him. There's a reason Joe Burrow went to the Super Bowl. Was it his second or first year? Yeah. Football is logical. Once you understand the logic, it's just a matter of waiting and being patient to see that logic play out. And the Raiders' patience throughout the years has now led to us having the best quarterback out of college, the best coach out of the NFL, and one of the best GMs in all of football. If you think that's going to fail, sure, that could fail. But literally, that's the best way to do things.
Yeah.
Tom Brady will not. Fernando will not allow. And adding insult to injury for you fans out there who think the Raiders will suck again. Yeah, we have the greatest quarterback in the history of humankind. Yeah. You can't just buy your way to success.
We are now entering week 2 of the Raiders coach search ever since Pete Carroll was relieved of his duties. Mm-hmm. And we know exactly a lot of names that have...
And respect to Coach Pete. I would never hate on Coach Pete. That's not me. Will never happen. Love Coach Pete. If I met him in person, it's hugs all the way.
Been reported out there. The goal obviously is always going to be the same, to just win. baby,
right?
if I could say that, and go from there. So as we go forward here, there's going to be a lot of
Strong leadership is essential to success.
Rest in peace.
It sets the tone from the top, creating
Rest
a
in peace.
domino effect that shapes mindsets and provides a trusted
Oh,
voice
Arshel.
that reminds us of who
Arshel.
we are.
What does the future look like as a head coach in this league for you? Because it's going to happen.
Yeah, that's up to God, and we're gonna enjoy tonight. Yeah.
So no answers on the network.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. Well, you guys know I'm going to Las Vegas, so I'm fired up about it. But tonight, one more for one more night. Hell yeah.
That was such a funny, because Nation, we got the confirmation before the confirmation. If you were paying attention, the man gave us the confirmation before the confirmation. People were waiting to see who the Raiders were going to hire. This man was just like, what are you talking about? I'm going to fucking Vegas. You think I'm going to go anywhere else? I've got Fernando. I've got Mark Davis, the best owner in all of football, right? At this point, we need to acknowledge that everything that Mark Davis has been doing was to help the Raiders, even though it meant him like getting yelled at the stadium unfairly by fans who didn't know what was going on. But now that we see, we're just like, oh yeah, he wasn't trying to ruin the Raiders. He was just trying to build it up so that he can step aside and then other people can run the Raiders. I love Mark Davis. Love Clint Kubiak, even though Clint Kubiak, is the son of Gary Kubiak, who is also friends with Mark Shanahan. And God, we don't like Mike Shanahan. We would never like Mike Shanahan. And I would not be sad. Question, Nation. Real question. Would you be sad if Kyle Shanahan never won a Super Bowl, given just how good of a coach is? Because I'm a Raider fan and his father treated the Raiders so badly, I'm inclined to say, no, I don't want him to. But again, it's like he's such a good coach that TB12 are good with him now. With whom? You mean the Kubiaks? I think so. Look, if Clint wins a Super Bowl, and I believe he will, it's going to take some time. It might take 3, 4, 5 years, but I do think he's going to win a Super Bowl with the Raiders. And I do think Fernando Mendoza is going to end up with at least 2 Super Bowls for the Raiders. Yes, that is my prediction. Are we good with Tom Brady now? If we win a Super Bowl. Let me repeat that. Hey, Tom. Hi. Raider fan here. Yeah, we remember. The Tuck Crow. Yeah. We remember that we made your entire career possible of what was obviously a fumble. We get it. Are we giving you a pass? Nah. If you win a Super Bowl with the Raiders, you get a pass. I'm not a diehard Tom Brady fans. If he wins a Super Bowl, he will get a pass. Until then, Tuck rule.
I'm going. Of course I'm going.
Kubiak
it was a fumble
to the Las Vegas Raiders, and I love the pick. I love the hire.
So the answer
Kubiak
is not yet.
Very good from an offensive football perspective. He has literally spent every breathing moment of his life in the NFL.
What he's done with this football team, what he's done with Sam Darnold, we're in the offensive era, quarterback whisper era.
Other teams should be a little bit nervous.
So part of being on this channel is that I catch things that no one else is going to catch. I will catch things that you're going, how did you catch that? Let me blow your mind real quick. See if I can. Just to let you know, nothing is accidental. Everything is business. Check this out.
In the Raiders.
Look at this again. Tell me one thing you notice.
These next few.
You see this Amazon truck here? Why is there a random Amazon truck just rolling by the Raiders training facility right when this video is happening?
Months are the most important.
Okay, that's not accidental because, trust me, your favorite Raider content creator, other than me, because I'm about to be your favorite, will never notice anything like this because they don't speak business language. Where you at? Come on, give me a second. I'm looking for. I think it might be here. Let's see.
What he's done with this football team, what he's done with Sam Darnold.
Ready? Look at Sam Darnold. What do you see on Sam Darnold? I'll wait. It's right here. Guys, nothing is accidental. Everything is business. Everyone is trying to create an influence. Yes, Amazon is making its way into the NFL because the NFL is a big giant money bag and Amazon wants a lot of that money. Amazon is right here on Sam Darnold's jersey, and Amazon just happens to show up in the Raiders montage.
For John Spytek and the Raiders scouts,
no other content creator, no other Raider content creator will ever see this kind of thing happen. I have a master's in business. Not bragging. I'm just letting you guys know who I am. So I notice dumb things like that. Like, yeah, Amazon's here. That's not accidental. It would have been accidental if Amazon didn't also show up later. Let's move on.
To the Las Vegas Raiders, and I love the pick. I love the hire.
Kubiak is very good from an offensive football perspective. He has literally spent every breathing moment of his life in the NFL.
What he's done with this football team, what he's done with Sam Darnold, we're in the offensive era, quarterback whisper era.
Other teams should be a little bit nervous.
Oh, I am going to turn that Tom Brady answer into a short. Serious. I'm serious. I won a Super Bowl. I won a Super Bowl for the Tuck Rule. That is my answer. All right, Coach is a family man.
Thank you for coming on
and
a
a man of
special
God.
day for this organization. I want to thank
I know Coach Kubiak
all the great Raiders
very
sitting up here with
religious.
me right now. It's an honor to share this stage with them. We set out to take our time.
Nope. Sorry. I'm not missing legends. All right, let's go. Who is this? I don't know who this is. Howie Long. Allen, of course. Roger Goodell, I need you to get it together. You need to make this man a Hall of Famer. This is the stupidest, the absolute stupidest non-Hall of Famer concept in the NFL. That a guy can win 2 Super Bowls, two of them, and not be in the Hall of Fame. Hey, shame on the. Are we kidding, dude? If Roger Goodell cannot find a way to put Plunkett into the Hall of Fame, Roger Goodell, you were failed. Because it doesn't even make sense. Who is who played in the NFL the shortest and won a Super Bowl? Oh, I know, Kurt Warner. Remember Kurt Warner? He played in the NFL for he was relevant for maybe 6-8 seasons, and won one Super Bowl, right? So, Kurt Warner only got 1 Super Bowl, right? Please correct that because that does matter. That does matter for my argument. 1 Super Bowl, right? With the St. Louis Rams. The greatest show on turf. Yes, your boy knows everything about football. Every single thing about football since I've been born. I know it. He played 6 relevant seasons. This guy right here, you're like, who is this? This is Jim Plunkett. He has 2 Super Bowl rings. He won 2 Super Bowls and is not in the Hall of Fame. Make that make sense because it doesn't.
We set out to take our time, to be deliberate, to be meticulous, to find the right leader for this organization going forward. We have a uniquely challenging offseason with the first overall pick and new leadership.
We know the reason is they don't like the Raiders, right? They hate us. Yeah. They don't hate the Raiders. Yeah, go look it up. There's actual research showing you that referees are biased against the Raiders. Yeah, there's actual research showing that.
The head coach, but that's why it was so important to us to find the right man to lead this organization forward. But ultimately, that led us to Coach Clint Kubiak.
Whoa. Is that who I think that is?
This organization forward, but ultimately.
Oh, I thought I was Sean Payton. That's not Sean Payton. Is that Sean Payton? No. Is this Sean Payton? Because I do not like Sean Payton. That might be Sean Payton. That might be freaking Sean Payton. That's Mark Davis for sure. Is that Sean Payton?
That led us to Coach Clint Kubiak to be the next leader. We had to be patient. We had to let him go win a Super Bowl. I'm really proud to welcome him to Raider Nation as a partner.
Yes, Clint. Just in case you're confused, we let you win a Super Bowl before you became good enough for us. Yes, that is the Raider attitude. We want nothing but excellence at all times.
There's a lot of great things ahead. He can't wait to get to work. We have told him that he is going to go.
Nice shoes. Cop the shoes. Cop the shoes.
Yeah, man. We're excited.
And I want to welcome Clint Kubiak as our next head coach of the Las Vegas Raiders.
I do not think the NFL will wait till Jim Plunkett passes away, because when you look at Jim Plunkett, he does look healthy enough to live for at least another 20 years. I think Jim Plunkett, by the grace of, I'll say God, and anybody who understands sports and the importance of sports, you cannot let Jim Plunkett die before making a Hall of Fame. It doesn't make sense. The guy has 2 Super Bowl rings. It just doesn't make sense. Whatever.
Their job.
I
This
don't
is
know
the
what
silver
else
and
to say.
black. This is the Raiders. This is
Make
a
me the
historic
commissioner
franchise.
and Jim
When you
Plunkett
say
would be
commitment to
would be
excellence,
in Hall of Fame
and you
right
look at the
away.
walls around here, you look at the players on this wall, and there's a history. There's a history of Hall of Fame players here. There's a history of Super Bowls, and that's what the ultimate goal is. But you have to be about the work if you want to get there. And I guarantee you that myself and our staff, we're going to be about the work.
Oh,
this is the Raiders, one of the most historic franchises in the NFL.
There it is. I do like Q quite a bit. I watch
in the NFL.
I watch Q
with
every
a great history that
pretty
I
much
want to
every
be a
day.
part of.
I want to
there.
just
And
show
I
his
guarantee
face.
you that myself and
I
our
watch Q
staff,
pretty much.
we're
I
going to
listen
be
to him
about the
pretty much
work.
every day.
This is the Raiders.
Right there. That's Q Meyer. Right there. Is that Vincent Brunson Orr? Maybe.
One of the most historic franchises in the NFL, with a great history that I want to be a part of. I want to be a part of furthering that history.
I'm sorry, Nation. There's one person I can't figure out.
That I want to be a part of. I want to be a part of.
My Andrew on Q show, it should be yesterday 33. I do comment on there every now and then. If you listen to Q every day, you actually hear my voice very frequently. Yeah, I'm I'm YTD. It's so funny. No, I'm YTD. I call in every now and then. Why? Sorry. He calls me Proto. I'm YTD Proto. That's me. So if you're like, yo, Proto. Yeah, that's me. That's me. I'm Proto. So I don't show up on chat. I call in. So if you've ever heard someone call in and they say, Proto, that's me. Proto. Proto from Vancouver. Yep, that's me. I am Proto from Vancouver. The last time I called, I don't know what I talked about, but I'm gonna call again soon. Yeah, I'm Proto. I'm Proto from Vancouver. I like Q. Q and I actually got in a fight on Twitter over Antonio Pierce, because he liked Antonio Pierce and I didn't. Yeah, that's me. Jamie.
Furthering that history.
Las piezas se están juntando para los Raiders de Las Vegas. Nuevo entrenador en jefe, listo. Ahora
I love including the Spanish aspect, because yes, the Raiders are moving into Mexico. We're going to take over Mexico. I know we're not playing in Mexico this year. That's because the Niners got chickened out. They didn't want to go to Mexico and then get beat up in Mexico by the Raiders. It's fine. We'll catch them in Mexico another time, but Mexico belongs to the Raiders. Don't worry about that. It's done. Mexico belongs to the Raiders forever and ever and ever.
Es a toda velocidad hacia la extensa temporada baja, donde las oportunidades para construir la plantilla son abundantes. La primera parada del tren es en Indianápolis.
2026 NFL Scouting Combine is underway in Indianapolis. Welcome to First Stop Indy, presented by EOS Fitness.
Man, I love this production. This is really good work. This is really good. This is really good. And I say that as somebody who loves to edit, and I do have dreams of like working
chance to sit
with
down
the
with these
Raiders
guys and really meet them in
on
person
an
for the first
official
time.
capacity.
I would describe it as speed dating.
This is good. Okay, so let's see how many more minutes left. I gotta end soon, and there's still quite a bit of time left. Let me do this. I know you guys are bummed. Let me end stream right now because I really want to pay close attention to the combines because I don't think a lot of people even understand what the combine is and how it functions. This is the best part. Okay, let's keep going. Let's go. And that's why I thought so. I thought it would be. Oh, my boy, Crawford.
Good to see you. Thank you guys.
Okay, no, we'll keep going.
Oh shoot! What's up, Mr. Brady? How you doing? Or Tom? How you doing?
Did you hear the respect in his voice, Mr. Brady? Dude, I love Fernando. I will meet him one day. We're gonna be friends. Don't worry. I got plans. I don't know. My plans may never work, but I do have plans. We're gonna be friends one day. I'm a bit older than he is, but you know we'll be Raider buddies. He'll get it. He'll get it.
Yeah, love it. How you doing? I'm great. I'm blessed here at the combine right now. You know, hope we get this interview going. No, I'm great. Ready for the opportunity.
All right, well, enjoy everybody. Just want to say hi and yeah, good luck on everything and just keep being yourself, man. You're doing a great job.
Appreciate it. Thank you. God bless.
Yeah, same here, babe. Take care.
The best part about this is, you know how like everyone kept asking this question, like, would the Raiders draft anybody but Mendoza? And the Raider Nation was so pissed because you're just like, why would we do anything but draft Mendoza? Like, are you being serious? Why would we do anything but get the franchise quarterback? I met him already at private Adidas party. Oh man, why are you so blessed? Because you got the biz. All right, we will talk on Saturday, and you're gonna give me all of your tricks.
We have a plan for each man that walks in that room. We've thought about it. We know what questions we're going to ask. We know what we want to get out of that 18 minutes.
So we've talked to all these people. We talked to you at the Senior Bowl. We talked to Brad. Everybody, tell us something we don't know about you. Like, do you feel like you put a lot of pressure on yourself? I got to talk to you a little bit at the Senior Bowl, but for everybody else, can you kind of give us your story, just how you got here, the path through Arkansas State and Auburn?
It was more so I started my senior year of high school, had one progression right there, and then transferred to Arkansas State, more smaller division. It was
I'm
more
really
so
hoping it's going to be
trying
great,
to get my feet wet at Arkansas State, trying to see what it was, trying to see just the game of football, trying to get soak in as much as I can.
Can you give me a cadence on one? Yeah, sounds good. No clap. Set up. Can I set up? Yeah.
No clap. Did they really ask him this? Okay, give me a cadence on one, no clap. Why? Because in college, Fernando clapped a lot, but also most top quarterbacks, if you watch plays, they actually clap in college because clapping in college is kind of the way to go. So,
can you give me a cadence on one? Yeah, sounds good. No clap. Set up. Can I set up? Yeah.
Yeah.
Son! 118! 118, son!
I love this. This is so great. Oh, this is Andrew Janoko. Ah, my man. Look at him. You can tell he's face because he has a particular face. His face is really rounded, and with his beard, he just looks very prominent. Like you see how he looks like a nice big bubble head. That's a compliment. Don't worry. Like he said, it looks like a bubble head. Just really round head.
Talked about your confidence increasing too. Where did you change your approach on the field, off the field to get like to this point now where you are?
On the field, off
just
the field.
Seeing myself grow from like never playing football and actually like getting a chance to actually do something that I've never done and only see myself grow. It was more so like that was the reason why I do love the game, because I've always seen myself grow. So it's more so just still being able to do that and then do it to the level game that I got and just show that. It's more so like that's who I am.
I'm gonna pause real quick because other things that people are not noticing that I think people should notice. If you look at his eyes, you can tell he's really tired. So during the combines, these guys are really tired, man. They're really, it's a lot of work. Yeah, and he recognized, because he said the right thing. He didn't start football till his senior year in high school, so he's not hiding that. But it's a lot of work for this guys. So just look at his eyes and just understand that this is a human being who's like really tired for those days. But that's what it takes to be in the NFL, right?
That's me.
He was a fun process to kind of get to know him. We had a clear view for the player he could be. Saw a lot of upside in his rush ability. He's got a real chip on his shoulder, and you feel it. You can feel his intensity.
I think he's got a ruggedness to him that you look for on the field defensively and in the locker room and the meeting rooms defensively. I think he's a player that can help bring some edge to the defense.
Yeah, I agree.
He was the same way.
I'm hoping it turns out. For those who are watching, I do drink alcohol. And I am sober, but only at night. Don't worry, not a problem. Only at night before bed. So I don't hide nothing. So if you see me do that on stream, it's just recreationally. I only drink beer one time a day at night, just to relax before bed.
You're both too, like edgy, passionate.
It's fine.
You're on board.
My man, enjoy your drinks. Who you are is who you are.
That you were at Arizona.
I just say that because on stream we might get minors, and I have to tell them to be responsible. I am a grown adult, so I can drink while streaming and let you know that you don't have to do the same. And no, there would not be a drink this and I give you money on this channel. I don't do that. I've got a 2-year-old. I need my heart and my lungs and everything functioning. So I drink one beer a day at nighttime before bed.
So you come to our team, the Raiders. How would you navigate through that as a first year rookie in a room of grown men?
Yeah. No, I'll know.
Is that Trady and Stukes? Oh.
There's guys that have been playing for a long time. There's guys that have significant experience at this level, and I will be a sponge to those type of people. I'm not gonna pretend I know anything more than anyone. I'll be, in everybody's ear asking questions. I'm trying to get as much knowledge about, what it takes to succeed at this level, from people that have done it and lived it, and coaches that have seen it. So I think I'll mesh really well. I'm an easy guy to get along with. I'm not gonna do a whole lot of barking or anything. I'm just gonna go about my process how I always have, and earn the respect of the guys in the room that way.
Yeah, that was one of my favorite probably interviews of all time. And I don't say that to be hyperbole.
Really? Wow.
Trayden was extremely down to earth, comfortable in his own skin, and had just rare intelligence.
When he short motioned down and got a little closer to the core, I decided it was too far for me to get over the top of one. So I just locked the corner on him, and I'm locking two now, vertical.
I would say my leadership style is servant leader.
Okay, so I think the play he just talked about is the really big play where he got the interception over the receiver without even touching the receivers. I played cornerback and safety in high school. That is one of the greatest plays you will ever see a safety make, to get the interception over the top of the receiver without touching the receiver. That is incredible stuff.
I believe I've had a lot of good experience, especially with the transfer portal.
So I just made a short. You can go watch it, actually, about what Fernando Mendoza just said. I literally just made a short about
locking
this
two now,
earlier today.
Vertical.
I would say my leadership style is servant leader.
Yeah,
I believe
that's
I've had a lot of good experience, especially with the transfer portal.
That is the biblical statement, and it's a really good biblical statement.
Two things you need to be with a leader, and two things I think is you got to build equity with your teammates, and with that you got to be a good player. You got to be a good player. Players are going to respect good players, and that's number one. You can't be 7th-string quarterback and calling a team meeting. The second thing, I believe, is just the respect of your teammates. And the way you gain that, I believe, is through my work ethic, the way that I care about them, and also my resiliency. Whenever I get pushed down or in a tough situation, always able to give my best shot and always able to dig them out.
Let's go.
Those all things, and toughness too. There's been so many times I gotten like killed, like killed this season.
Oh, we've seen it.
I've always gotten.
We've seen him get killed, and then it rose right back up. No, I'm not calling him Jesus Christ. You stop it right now. That is not what I said. But if he wins the Super Bowl,
that was our first time. We had an idea of if the chance that we have the number 1 and use the number 1 overall pick, it's going to be this guy. So let's really get to know him and get to feel him. And the best thing about it was like he was completely normal. He was completely comfortable. Outside of just the conversation, the football came real easy and natural to him. You felt leadership qualities. He has that winning intangible that you wish you could bottle up and describe and measure. But what was great about the interactions we were able to have with Fernando is you just felt better and better about him every time you had an interaction with him.
To the pump, and then we're going to come down to what we call in our offense the cheese route, kind of holding the cheese, and then we're going to work backside.
I got a question. In one of your press conferences at the end, you said you had a lot of media training.
Yeah.
So what's different about the way that maybe the media training projected you to the masses and the guy that we're sitting here talking to right now?
I would say that I didn't have social media this season, so the media painted a picture about me then was maybe a little different than my true personality. Especially at the Ohio State game after I said flipping instead of and at that point it was like, okay, he doesn't curse, he's like good at two-shoe, and I didn't know.
Okay. So if they're addressing this is really good. Because I know what he's about to say, because we all do. He's not a good at two-shoe, but the media would like to paint him as this good at two-shoe. The problem with that is the media will also just destroy him if he starts like drinking beer. Look at the good at two-shoe drinking beer. So just set that base that no, I'm not a good at two-shoe. I don't curse on live television because children are watching, but that doesn't mean that I don't curse. You know what I mean? Like, doesn't mean that I don't drink beer because I'm not drinking beer in front of the camera. You know what I mean? So this is really, really good stuff.
Like, my whole thing is like, you gotta communicate. You gotta communicate with your teammates, communicate with your coaches. So let me get really good at speaking.
Somebody said it earlier. Who said it?
Taking speech classes. I've always looked on YouTube videos how to communicate, how to be a better leader.
I said that
reader
earlier.
as well. So with that, it's developed senses where people are like, oh, this guy's ChatGPT. But whenever you ask any of my team, I'm sure, I don't want to speak for them, but I've been able to connect with my teammates really, really well in not like a ChatGPT scenario.
So meaning he, oh man, I like this. Okay, fine. I'll break this down. Because Auto Raider fans may not understand what he just said. He said, I communicate not in the ChatGPT way, but in real scenarios. The reason he said that is because he's a young person. I think Fernando's 21 years old. And yes, he knows what ChatGPT is. But a lot of older people think young people just think that ChatGPT is like the only way to communicate. It's like, no, that's just one of the ways. So he's saying, I don't communicate like a robot. I'm a real person. I'm not some like, you didn't just type me up. I'm a person. But I don't want you to think that I communicate like I'm speaking out of, as a computer. No, I'm a person. So that was a really, really good to say, I don't communicate like ChatGPT, because older people, and I know because I know a lot of them, think that young people just talk like ChatGPT. It's like, no one talks like ChatGPT. That doesn't make sense at all, Bloomington, Indiana. All right, let's go.
How far are we driving?
I think it's almost done. We're going to end soon.
We're just going up a hill over there. Okay. Not too far, not too far. Don't take your time, though. We'll get you down on this elevator where you need to go, okay? Thanks so much.
So this is to visit Fernando.
Hey, Samuel.
This is such good production because the sound is really cool. Oh, that was Omar Cooper.
Want to thank everybody for coming.
Yeah, Omar Cooper's strong. He's very strong.
Appreciate you guys again.
Pro day.
What was impressive about Fernando, obviously the throwing ability.
Yeah, this is definitely pro day.
What really stood out to us was his command.
Hey, if anyone's still lurking, the show will be ending soon. Feel free to come in and say hello. You don't have to talk a whole lot, but if you're here, just let us know.
Pretty good.
I think that was a special moment for a lot of us to be in that building, to watch him lead that workout, to be there for his teammates, to throw the way he did, but most importantly, like to be the general on the field.
Hey, Coach. How you doing? Good to meet you. College director.
I guarantee you the number one thing that will shock everyone if you stand next to Fernando Mendoza, you're going to realize how tall he is. Because if you don't know how tall 6'5", 225 pounds is, it's pretty big. So, and I tell people that because that does matter. Fernando Mendoza is a big quarterback. He's big. He's 225 pounds and 6'5". People will see, though. They will see.
As we look in the mirror, we're reminded of the history lifting us up, standing on the shoulders of giants.
So you've seen him, right, Biz? You've actually seen him in person? I'm telling you, you don't realize how big 6'5", 225 is till you see it. I do because, you know, this is what I do for a living. Like, my mind works in this way. Like, he's as big as Josh Allen. Keep that in mind. And he throws one of the hardest football throws in the entire NFL with ease, the back shoulder fade. That is the hardest throw to throw in the NFL for a quarterback. That is Fernando Mendoza's staple. That's what he's known for. Look, can he flop? Okay, fine. You know what? I'm a Raider fan. I'm happy as fuck. Give me a 225-pound, 6'5" quarterback who throws a back shoulder fade like the best of them in the NFL. Yeah, no, I'm taking that all day. Oh, what's the back shoulder fade? Aaron Rodgers, Devontae Adams. Yeah, that's what made them famous. The back shoulder fade. Because Aaron Rodgers is one of the best quarterbacks in the history of football when it comes to the back shoulder fade. It's the hardest throw to throw in the NFL, but it's also the hardest throw to defend in the NFL. Man,
The flame that would burn brightest here is the will to win. Is the will to win.
Is the will to win.
This chapter for the Las Vegas Raiders is a new beginning. A chance to remind the world of who we are. Take notice. Because we are the silver and black.
Yeah. The outer win, baby.
Next time on Behind the Shield.
Oh, guys, we will watch every single episode. I promise you that. I promise you that. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, that will be the conclusion of this fantastic show. Yo, Biz, thank you for showing up. Yo, Readiness Japans, thank you for showing up. If you're lurking, it does appear, unless anything changes, and I don't think anything will change, that I will be on Biz's show on Saturday. We're going to have a good time. I promise you my A game will be on point. We will have a blast. That is a promise. Got to get to bed. Thank you guys so much. I'm just going to shut up and go away now. Love you guys. Go Raiders all the way. Go Raiders. Rest in peace, Al Davis. Love that man.